Today's lesson is called Falling for San Gimignano. Hello everyone, my name is Jeff.
And my name is Helen.
What a beautiful title we have today. Our lesson here, wow. Falling for San Gimignano. First of all, Italian is just a beautiful language, okay? The Romance languages are known for sounding wonderful, almost like music. I've heard people actually say that spoken Spanish there on the Iberian Peninsula is akin to listening to music. Like you could go there, not speak a word of Spanish, and still just listen into what people are talking about, not even knowing what they're talking about, and just being impressed by how musical that language is. Yes, that's Spanish. Other Romance languages include French, Portuguese, and also Italian. And today we will be traveling in Italy, okay? We'll be going to a place called San Gimignano. And by the way, this place is awesome. It's so awesome that when you go there, you will fall in love with this place, I should say. Yes, today the title is Falling for San Gimignano. What a beautiful title. We'll be falling for this place. Now, you can fall for a person, i.e. you fall in love with them, but here we're going to be falling in love with this place. We won't want to leave once we have visited.
That's right, and it's really easy to fall in love with San Gimignano because it's beautiful, it's romantic, it has a long history, it has an amazing culture, and the food is to die for. So it practically has everything that you would want in a place, and it's all concentrated. It's not a big city where you're going to get tired walking around looking for things. It's compact, it's small, the people are friendly, beautiful scenery of the countryside, so it's really a beautiful place, and it's difficult not to fall for it.
I totally agree, even though I've never actually been there. Okay, I just trust you that much there, Helen. All right, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a short break, but don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
Falling for San Gimignano. The hill town of San Gimignano, located in Italy's Tuscan region, is a place of remarkable beauty. It's famous for its medieval architecture, and its rich countryside produces delicious food that's difficult to find elsewhere.
大家好，第一部分我们看到单字 medieval， 这个字是形容词，指中世纪的。例如 Many of the people who came to the harvest festival were dressed up in medieval clothes. 许多参加丰年庆典的人都穿着中世纪的服装。
And welcome back. So today we're talking about San Gimignano, and the title is Falling for San Gimignano. So let's dive into the first sentence, which is, the hill town of San Gimignano, located in Italy's Tuscan region, is a place of remarkable beauty. So, as we've mentioned, San Gimignano is a beautiful little town, but it's not of ordinary beauty. It's not just a pretty little town. It's remarkably beauty. Its beauty is remarkable. And so if something is remarkable, it is unusual in a surprising way, in a way that impresses you. So, for instance, I could say, we saw a remarkable sunset from the top of the mountain. And San Gimignano is a place that is known for its remarkable beauty.
There you go. If something's remarkable, you have to say something about it, okay? It's that impressive, that surprising, so on and so forth. For example, my friend Dave is a remarkable swimmer. One day I saw him swim. I couldn't believe it, okay? He was so fast. He was like a fish or like a dolphin in the water. When he got out of the pool, I said, Dave, what gives? You never told me you were such a good swimmer. You are a remarkable swimmer. Maybe one day you can swim in the Olympics. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on here. We are in Italy. We're in the Tuscan region. Tuscany, I think some people refer to this region as being Tuscany. But one way or another, we are in a part of Italy known for beauty. Now, this part of Italy is also known for other things as well, okay? It's famous for its medieval architecture, and its rich countryside produces delicious food that's difficult to find elsewhere. Yes, Tuscany is chock full of good stuff, and you know what? No place will give you a better sampling of what Tuscany has to offer than San Gimignano. Anyways, before we move on here, we've got two things to talk about. The first of these is the word Medieval. Now, be careful with the spelling here. M-E-D-I-E-V-A-L. Now, I know that sounds weird. You want to think medieval, M-I-D-E-V-I-L? No, here we're not talking about anything that has to do with evil or anything like that. No, medieval or medieval, both pronunciations are okay. Here, when we're talking about something that is medieval or medieval, okay, we're talking about something from a period of history, okay? We're talking about a period of time, roughly between the fall of the Roman Empire and then also the European Renaissance there. I believe the Middle Ages span for about 1,000 years or so.
That's right. So San Gimignano is known for its medieval architecture because it was during the medieval period that San Gimignano became very powerful. That's when a group of powerful and rich families moved into San Gimignano and basically changed the characteristic and the look of this little town. And also another thing to keep in mind is that San Gimignano was powerful only during this period. Afterwards, the neighboring towns started to war with each other and San Gimignano fell into ruins a little bit. It's only recently that it started to become popular as a tourist destination within this century.
There you go. This place has a rich, bountiful countryside. It's extremely fertile there, and it produces delicious food that's difficult to find elsewhere, i.e., you won't be able to find food like this anywhere else on planet Earth. All right, folks, with that, it is time for us to take a short break, but don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
First-time visitors will be struck by the stone towers that form San Gimignano's skyline. The towers were built by medieval noble families who were often locked in bitter dispute with one another to show their power and wealth. Of the original 70-odd towers, only 14 remain. Standing above all the rest is the 54-meter-tall Torre Grossa, from which you can enjoy a panoramic view of San Gimignano. Also notable are the Torri dei Salvucci, twin towers that are said to have inspired the design of the original World Trade Center that once stood in New York.
第二部分我们看到一个片语 be struck by something 指对留下深刻的印象深受感动像是 Many visitors were struck by the beauty of the cathedral 许多游客都对大教堂美丽的模样留下深刻的印象另外补充一个相关片语 be impressed by 也可以指对感到印象深刻我们可以说I am impressed by your talent in music and art. 我对你在音乐及艺术上的才华印象深刻。再来，我们看到单字 skyline， 这个字是名词，指建筑物在天空映衬下的天际线。举例来说 From the park, we could see the beautiful skyline of the city. 从公园看出去，能看到城市美丽的天际线。接着，我们看到一个片语 be locked in。指受困在陷入之中例如 David was late for work today because he was locked in the traffic for almost an hour. David 今天上班迟到是因为他陷在车阵中将近1个小时。再来我们看到一个单字 panoramic 这个字是形容词意思是全景的举例来说The hotel allows the guests to enjoy the panoramic view of the city from the rooftop. 这间饭店开放顶楼给房客欣赏城市的全景。另外，我们可以补充这个字的名词 panorama, P-A-N-O-R-A-M-A, panorama, 指全景、全貌。例如 We can see the beautiful panorama of the coastline from the top of the hill. 我们从山顶上能看到美丽海岸线的全貌。接下来我们看到形容词 notable 意思是值得注意的像是 This book is notable for its accurate descriptions of Russia in the 18th century 这本精准描述18世纪俄罗斯样貌的书引人注目另外这个字也可以是名词指名人显要人物我们可以说 I heard that many notables attended the opening of the new theater我听说许多名人出席了新剧院的开幕式
And welcome back to our talk today about San Gimignano. So let's look at the first sentence of the second part of our lesson. And it says, first-time visitors will be struck by the stone towers that form San Gimignano's skyline. So if you go to San Gimignano and you've never been there before and you look at the town, you'll see stone towers. And these stone towers are so interesting that they will strike you. You will be struck by them. So if you are struck by something or struck with something, then that thing seems really interesting or unusual or impressive to you. For instance, a man could say, I was struck by her beauty. So I was completely shocked and surprised by how beautiful this woman was. So that's one way of using to be struck by.
There you go. You might think, okay, I've seen these things in books. I've heard people talk about them. I've done my research. When I go there, I'm going to be ready for how beautiful this place is going to be. Well, sorry, that's not going to work, okay? Once you get there, you are going to be surprised. You won't be ready for what you're going to see there. You're going to be struck by something amazing or many amazing things to be found there in San Gimignano.
Now, where did these towers come from? The towers were built by medieval noble families who were often locked in bitter disputes. So these medieval noble families lived in the little town of San Gimignano, which it's not a big town at all, and often they would get into fights with each other. They were locked in dispute. To be locked in something is to be engaged in something, to devote your attention constantly to that thing. Usually 2 or more people are locked into something, locked into a discussion or negotiations. Here, the families were locked in a bitter dispute, which is a serious disagreement that usually lasts for a long time. And they were locked in a bitter dispute because they wanted to show each other that they were more powerful or they had more money. So they were pretty violent, and some of these disputes often led to little wars between the families and even deaths.
Yeah, back in the day in old-time Italy, these families, these noble families, they got down and dirty. They really liked to fight one another. There were all sorts of bloody battles and intrigue and stuff like that. Yeah, families like the Borgias and the de Medici, they really knew how to duke it out, and boy, did they like to fight. Yes, they were often locked in bitter disputes. Anyways, the next sentence says, of the original 70-odd towers, only 14 remain. What a shame.
That's true. So through natural disasters and wars, a lot of those towers have been destroyed. And originally there were 70-odd towers, meaning around 70, more or less 70 towers. And of these 70, 14 remain. Now, back then when they were building these towers, the noble families were trying to outdo each other. So if somebody built a tower that was, say, 100 meters tall, the family next door would want to build one that was 101 or 110 meters tall, just to show that they can have the taller tower. And the result of that is today we have a lot of really tall towers, unusually tall for that period and for that region.
Okay, moving on. The next sentence says, standing above all the rest is the 54-meter-tall Torre Grossa, from which you can enjoy a panoramic view of San Gimignano. So apparently this tower, it's still there. Apparently you can actually go up to the top of this tower and take in all there is to see there from that 54-meter-tall tower.
Right. So a panoramic view is a view that lets you see a large area of land or sea around you. So if you climb up to the top of the tower, you can see a really nice panoramic view of San Gimignano. Now, also notable are the Torri dei Salvucci, twin towers that are said to have inspired the design of the original World Trade Center that once stood in New York. So if you look at pictures of the Torri di Salvucci, you will see why. Now, the Twin Towers of New York, they're also called the World Trade Center. They used to stand in downtown Manhattan near Wall Street. Unfortunately, they're no longer there. But if you looked at a picture of the Twin Towers and also a picture of the Torri di Salvucci, you will see the resemblances. And according to the stories that tour guides gave, the story was that a Japanese architect went to San Gimignano, saw the towers, and that architect was the same architect that built the Twin Towers.
There you go. That's a notable fact. Speaking of which, if something is notable, it's kind of like it's remarkable. Although the word remarkable is slightly stronger, but if something is notable, you do want to make a remark on that thing. You think that you need to mention that, okay? That's the idea here, okay? These towers there, they're notable, okay? Don't forget to visit them when you go to San Gimignano. You won't be disappointed. All right, everyone, with that, it's time for us to take another break, but don't go away. When we come back, we'll be wrapping up part 1 of our article on San Gimignano.
At the town center are the Piazza del Duomo and the 12th century collegiate church of San Gimignano. Although the church looks modest from the outside, its interior contains sculptures and wall paintings by famous Tuscan artists. On the same piazza, you'll see the Palazzo Comunale, which has a peaceful courtyard as well as countless medieval and Renaissance works of art on display.
第3部分，我们看到单字 interior 这个字是名词，指内部。例如 The outside of the house looks beautiful, but the interior is a mess. 这栋房子外观很美，内部却一团乱。另外，补充这个字的反义词 exterior 指外观、外表或外貌。我们可以说 After the workers finish painting the exterior of the building, they'll start on the walls inside. 工人完成建筑物外部的油漆后，会开始粉刷内部的墙壁。最后，我们看到一个名词 Renaissance， 用来指文艺复兴时期。我们可以说 The Renaissance was a time in history that many great works of art were made. 文艺复兴时期诞生了许多伟大的艺术作品。
And welcome back. So we were talking about Torre Grossa, the 54-meter tall tower, and also the Torri di Salvucci, which are twin towers in San Gimignano. So besides these towers, there are other things to look at in San Gimignano. At the town center are the Piazza del Duomo and the 12th century collegiate church of San Gimignano. Although the church looks modest from the outside, its interior contains sculptures and wall paintings by famous Tuscan artists. So from the outside, this church doesn't look like much. It probably doesn't have a lot of sculptures or color or anything. It's just a building. But if you go inside, the interior will strike you. The interior is the inside, the inner part of the church. And it contains sculptures and wall paintings, not by anyone, but by famous Tuscan artists.
There you go. If you walked by this place, you might think, nothing special. It's a modest place, okay? It's not seeking to draw attention to itself. It's not gaudy or ostentatious or anything like that. It looks kind of normal. It looks like it's nothing special from the outside, but on the inside, there are wonderful things to behold. Yes, here we have the word sculptures. If you do go to this church, you'll be surprised by the interior and the sculptures that are inside of this church. There's sculptures and also wall paintings, but let's talk about sculptures right now. When we talk about sculptures, we're talking about 3D pieces of art. Paintings, photographs, things like that, those are 2D or two-dimensional, whereas sculpture, pieces of sculpture are 3D, like statues very often, okay? You can refer to them as being sculptures, but not every sculpture is a statue. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on. The next sentence says, on the same piazza, you'll see the Palazzo Comunale, which has a peaceful courtyard as well as countless medieval and Renaissance works of art on display.
Right, so the Palazzo Comunale is also a building that you should visit if you're going to San Gimignano, because you go inside, it has a courtyard, which is an open space, and the courtyard also is lined with sculptures, and it has a glass ceiling, if I remember correctly, so it's really beautiful with the natural light coming in, and it has countless medieval and Renaissance works of art. So it's a building that's really worth visiting.
I totally agree with you there. All right, folks, with that, it's time for us to say bye-bye for now, but don't worry, don't fret, the Chinese teacher is on the way.
各
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。先看到课文标题，它写说 Falling for San Gimignano。 好，这边用到片语 fall for， 它是源自于鱼看到鱼饵的动作。鱼看到鱼饵就会不自觉去咬，那么引申的意思有两个。第一个是表达迷恋，那这时候意思就跟 fall in love with 差不多。这用法的受词常常会是人，像我们说 fall for somebody 就可以表达爱上某人，迷恋某人。例如 Dexter fell for Emma the first time he met her。 Dexter 第一次遇见 Emma 就被他迷住了。好，那么 fall for 第二个语义是表达被骗。当我们说 fall for something 就表示被某事物所骗，像是He's not dumb enough to fall for that old trick。 他才没有笨到会被那个老把戏耍，他不会上当的。好，那我们课文标题里面这个 Falling for San Gimignano 在这里当然不是上当被骗的意思的哦，而是指恋上圣吉米尼亚诺，爱上这个城镇。好，接着读到课文第二部分最后一句，他说Also notable are the Torre di Salvucci, twin towers that are said to have inspired the design of the original World Trade Center that once stood in New York. 好，这边要介绍的是主词补语倒装的用法。假设我们原本直述句的结构很简单，就是主词加 be 动词加主词补语。好，那个主词补语呢，也许是现在分词、过去分词、形容词、介系词、片语等等。好，当我们的主词比较长，或是主词带有修饰语的时候，我们可以把主词补语移到句首，然后再把 be 动词移到主词前方，形成倒装。这时候它的句型就会反过来变成主词补语加 be 动词加主词。好，我们举个例子。A note left by his roommate was lying on the table. 他室友留的纸条在桌上。好，句子里面的主词是 a note， 它后面的 left by his roommate 是主词修饰语，表示说他室友留的纸条。然后动词是 was， 接着再用 lying on the table 来当主词补语。好，那我们如果把主词补语 lying on the table 移到句首，这时候呢，就必须把 be 动词 was 移到主词前面，移到主词跟它的修饰语前面来形成倒装句，变成 lying on the table was a note left by his roommate。 好，我们回头来看课文句子结构。 Also notable 是主词补语， are 是动词，然后 the Torre di Salvucci 萨维奇塔是主词。接着我们看到逗号后面的那个 Twin Towers 一直念到最后的 New York， 这一大串都是用来修饰主词，修饰萨维奇塔。如果我们把它还原成直述句，它应该会写出 the Torre di Salvucci 后面跟一大串的修饰语 are also notable。好，那这样的句子就会显得头重脚轻，读者也会很难抓到重点，所以他才会把 also notable 先移到句首，把 be 动词移到主词前面，然后再把那个主词跟一大串的修饰语把它丢到句子后半段，形成倒装句。这样懂了吗？好，那我们以上是今天重点整理，我们来回顾今天的单字吧。
Remarkable. My favorite basketball team has been having a remarkable season so far. Elsewhere. You can find similar products elsewhere for much lower prices than at this store. Dispute. The meeting to settle the dispute did not go as well as we'd hoped it would. Notable. Kruger National Park in South Africa is notable for its wildlife, including leopards, lions, rhinos, and elephants. Interior. For a moment after walking into the building's dark interior, Joe couldn't see anything. Sculpture. The Thinker, a bronze sculpture of a man deep in thought, is one of artist Auguste Rodin's most famous works.
Okay, everyone. With that, today's article is now complete. But, as always, we sure hope that you guys have enjoyed reading along with us. Anyways, I'm Jeff.
I'm Helen.
See you next time.